Hi, I'm Dr. Lynn Verant, Running Movement Specialist, Physical Therapist at the Movement Clinic in Pensacola, Florida at Running Wild. I'm here to talk to you today about one of my favorite exercises if you're lacking in time to improve your strength as a runner, the static squat or a lunge. It captures all the movements that you need for running, and it's easily modified to meet your ability level. First thing you want to do is set up correctly. You want to make sure your front foot is lined up so that your foot, your ankle, your knee, and your hip and your shoulder are all in a straight line. When you turn to the side, your ear, your shoulder, your hip, and your knee are all in a line, and then your back, ankle, and foot are all straight. And finally, from the back, same leg, toe, your ankle, your knee, your hip, your shoulder are straight. You're straight across the hips, and you're straight across the shoulders. Just getting that basics down is really helpful. Now, for a running position, you want to shift that weight forward. So once you get into that basic alignment, you bend down, and then you shift your weight forward, and then you go up and down. Common faults with the lunge: one, people really struggle with the range of motion, meaning they can't go up and down as far. That's totally fine. Don't force the movement. Only go as far up and down as you can. You might find that with one leg, you can go all the way down to the floor and all the way up. Go ahead and go with that. But the other side, you're like, ooh, it's really tough. Do what you can with still maintaining that good form. Another key issue is people struggle with their balance. So what happens is you put one foot forward and you feel really wobbly. You want to make sure that you keep your foot flat on the ground, or you can shorten your stance just a little bit. The other thing that's really helpful is having something sturdy to hold on to, but I still want you to focus on a strong, firm foot on the floor, because that's where your balance comes from. You won't have a chair to hold on to when you're running. And then finally, if you're struggling with your strength, we're going to add some weight component to that. But again, it's really helpful to have something to hold on to just to give you that confidence to lower down and up until you develop that strength. All right, so those are a few modifications to help you with some of the most common challenges. Now, of course, we're talking about strength training. You want to grab some weights that you feel comfortable to start doing these lunges with. Same body position. You're just going to hold the weights down by your side, and this, again, focus on that controlled movement up and down. And then from there, you don't even need to add any additional exercise. You can simply rack the weight to your shoulders. Same exercise, down and up. And finally, if you want more of a challenge, you can add that weight holding it overhead. Now, I know we don't run with our arms overhead, but it just gives you a different kind of balance challenge. Another way to modify this is your most common Bulgarian split squat, where you're placing the front leg just like your regular lunge, but the back leg is elevated behind you. All the cues are still the same. Front leg in line, ear to shoulder back, back leg up on top. You can rest the top of the foot on the chair or toes down. And then finally, you can add some power to this, meaning with the calf raise. You come up and you come up onto your tiptoes. That's really a balance challenge as well. So how often should you do this? Well, if you're doing it for endurance, you can do this for 15 to 20 repetitions, 2 to 3 sets. You want to make sure you still have great form on every repetition, but the last few should be somewhat challenging. Between each set, you're going to rest 1 to 2 minutes. If you're going for strength, you're doing 5 to 8 repetitions for 1 to 3 sets. Again, 1 to 2 minutes rest between each set. And you want to, again, make sure that you still have good form, and those last few reps, again, should be challenging. And finally, if you're going for power, which essentially running is hopping from one leg to the other, 3 to 5 reps, again, 1 to 3 sets, and still those 1 to 2 minutes of rest in between. If you're a beginner, you want to focus first on endurance. Once you feel confident with your form, you can move to strength. And finally, if you're a little bit more advanced, you can start adding that power component. So go ahead and start with the basics, build from there, and let me know how you do.